Hello, I'm Charlene of the Rainbow Frequency. I am a certified Reiki teaching master who practices shamanic Reiki, and I am a spiritual medium who uses their psychic gifts to help people in their highest good, to delight them mind, body, and spirit, to release blockages that hold them back, and to help them fully accept themselves for their divine nature and to see themselves for who they really are. I start off like this, in prayer position, as it's called by some. Your hands together in front of your heart chakra activates your heart chakra, which is to be heart-centered. And it also you bring the hemispheres of your brain and the sides of your body into alignment. That is, I think, very amazing. So if you wish, take a moment to take a deep breath, inhaling through your nose, hold it momentarily, and exhale. Again, deep breath in for 4 counts, hold it for 7, and then release through your mouth, counting to 8. This is a simple breathing exercise that helps you release stress, taking you out of the fight or flight mode. This, having your heart chakra and your solar plexus chakra activated or healed with your hands, is what I called the thunder jacket. It also helps you calm down, releasing stress, coming back to yourself, and in, again, being heart-centered. So use those for yourself as self-soothing, energy healing practices. Because the first thing that happens when we get stressed, we tend to stop breathing, things tense up, clenching our jaw and everything. So do these things for yourself, and it's a good first step. I fully believe that we are designed beautifully, and it's our job to learn who we are, how we're designed, and to work with it for our own highest good, as well as the highest good of those around us. We need to acknowledge what's going on with us so then we can apply it with intention. I was a hairstylist for several decades, and 2 decades, we'll say 2, not several. Anyway, I was a hairstylist for a good long while, and it was behind the chair that I started recognizing what was happening besides hair. I recognized, who I was, what was going on with me. Started to realize that what previously I thought was anxiety was the fact that I was an empath, so I needed to take ownership of this and be an empowered empath with healthy boundaries that's not going around absorbing everything and everyone's energy. It's not our job to pick up other people's karma and do the work for them. So I had to recognize to stay in my own energy and to come to help people as I love to, but they're helping themselves heal. I'm not doing it for them. So if you resonate with being empathetic or empathic, first thing you need to do, prioritize your own well-being, have healthy, loving boundaries, and acknowledge when you're in situations and you start to feel things. Ask yourself, am I feeling this myself, for myself, or am I picking up something from the environment I'm in or someone around me? For example, one time I was walking my son to school, and all of a sudden, out of nowhere, my stomach started feeling nauseated. And I was like, what? And then I looked at him. I'm like, are you nervous? And he said, yes, he was nervous. He had something that he was getting ready to face that was making him anxious. And I felt it in my own body. You know, it can be like that. It can be simply feeling or picking up other people's emotions just emotionally. It doesn't have to be physically. There are different types of empaths. But just be aware of this for yourself. So we're going to do a guided meditation where it is my intention to help you release stress and anxiety, anything that you need to let go of. You could write it down before we start. Pause this video if you're watching it in the future. Write down what you'd like to let go of, what's no longer in alignment with you. Stuff you've picked up that you'd like to return to sender so that they can handle it on their own as they're supposed to. You know, if someone's gaslighting me, for example, if I'm sitting there and having to listen because I don't want to just take myself out of it, perhaps I will, in my mind, you know, put on a figurative gas mask and think, return to sender. Not mine, it's yours. So, you know, just use these things to help yourself. So get comfortable. You can sit, you can lie down, do what feels right. You can have your hands in prayer position. You can have your hands open to receive, on your knees, palms up, whatever feels good to you. Do that. So breath in, hold it momentarily, and exhale. Nobody needs, nobody wants you at this time. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, release the stress and tension starting at the top of your scalp, then relaxing, going forward towards your forehead, relaxing lines or the furrow in your brow, then going back, releasing the muscles from the top of your head back to your occipital lobe, releasing the tension between your eyebrows and your eyes and temples, releasing and relaxing the muscles at the back of your head, base of your skull, relaxing your cheeks, nose, upper jaw, lower jaw, your chin muscles, down your throat and neck, releasing the tension between your shoulder blades, relaxing your shoulders and releasing the tension from your upper arms, elbows, forearms, wrists, hands, fingers, down your décolleté, your chest area, your upper back, your stomach, abdomen and lower back, your pelvis, hips, buttocks, thighs, knees, shins and calves, unknotting those muscles, relaxing your ankles, feet and toes, letting the stress and tension melt away from you, helping you sink further in to a meditative state. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, start to grow your roots down, starting from the base of your spine, all the way down to your legs and feet, through any and all surfaces they travel, down through the layers of the earth, till they reach an underground cave. There they connect with the crystalline grid. They slip into a crystalline pool, amplifying this connection, rehydrating you, helping you in this water to purify and further release any toxins, anything that is no longer in alignment or not in your highest good. You release and purify, healing as needed. Then your roots go down further still, intertwining to form a cord that then wraps around the heart center core of the earth. You give thanks for this support, and in exchange, all this elemental energy travels back up through your roots, up through your chakra system, nourishing you, revitalizing you, and helping you as needed. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, start to grow up from the base of your spine, up, up, up you grow into your plant body, up, up, up you stretch toward taking up your rightful space. Up you grow, past the clouds, through the atmosphere till you break through to the cosmos. There you connect with the Celestine grid and go further still to connect to your center or centers in the cosmos. You give thanks for this support, and in exchange, the energies of the cosmos, the light codes and high vibrational energy travels back down your plant body, down through your chakra system. The energies above and below now flowing through you as they should, in, out, again, flowing like blood through the chambers of a sacred heart. You are grounded. You are centered. Held in your sacred circle, love and light, helping you to be at peace. Take a moment to breathe and sink further into this healing energy. Take a deep breath, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, see yourself as your plant body within a sacred terrain where you are firmly rooted and supported by all that is. See a path before you and take a walk with me down this path to my wellness center. We come to the building and we enter through the front door. You ring a bell, announcing that you are here. A guide comes to the desk and welcomes you and asks you to put on the desk either your list or all that is no longer in alignment with you, all that you would like to return, let go of. You give it to them, and they transmute it to be healing, harmonious energy for all it comes in contact with from here forward. You sigh out, feeling already relieved. Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, you walk down a hallway to the healing room. You get up on the healing table, further relaxing, melting into this table, feeling comfortable and soothed. And then your spiritual team and myself come to you, forming a sacred circle around you to help you heal yourself as needed at this time in your healing journey. Release, relax, and heal. Om Mani Om Mani Padme Hum. Om Mani Padme Deep breath in, hold it momentarily, and as you exhale, you come up off of the table, exit the room, walk down the hallway till you reach a mirror. You can see yourself fully in this mirror. And then you put your hands on the mirror, your soul coming into alignment, mind, body, and spirit, integrating with love, acknowledging your oversoul, your higher consciousness that is there to support you. You see yourself in your divine nature. Give yourself love with your hands on this mirror. Give yourself healing energy. You are worthy because you exist. You are divine because you exist. Deep breath in. Hold it momentarily. And as you exhale, walk through this mirror, coming into wholeness and integrating, sealing this transformation in. And then you walk back to your plant body and your sacred terrain, further integrating, coming back into your physical body. Come back to your physical body in the here and now, grounded, heart-centered, and at peace within yourself. See yourself in a sacred sphere of light that is shielding you for your highest good, delighting you mind, body, and spirit. It's your safe space to maintain around you as a healthy, loving boundary, keeping out what is not in your highest good and allowing what is in. Deep breath in. Hold it momentarily. Start to wiggle, squirm, scrunch the muscles of your face, and come all the way back to the here and now. I hope you enjoyed that. I would take a moment afterwards to journal about what plant body you were if you perceived yourself as a plant body. If not, whatever it is that you perceived, in guided meditation, shamanic journeying, they use a drum. So in guided meditation in this form, my voice is like the drum. You don't have to follow it to the letter. You just use it to help you relax and flow. So I encourage you to come back to this as needed, to help yourself soothe your nervous system and regulate your energy. This might be a little revolutionary, but again, we're all designed as we are. It's our job to know who we are, what we're working with, and to do it with intention. So this, what they talk about Reiki attunements and having to go to somebody who has been trained by a line of masters that have all been given this blessing. It's not the way that they have expressed it to me. For me and my understanding, when you come to someone to learn Reiki, energy healing, what have you, it's helping you to attune to who you are, helping you to really acknowledge your divine gifts that you came into this life with, and to work with them for your own well-being, as well, again, as the environment that you're a part of. For others that don't seek to learn Reiki or any of these modalities, sometimes people have a near-death experience or a loss of a loved one or a traumatic experience, and it will crack them open into these parts of themselves. A lot of people, when they don't have someone to help guide them and explain and aid them in this, they will start to feel like they're crazy. They feel so alone. So that's where I come here, and I have psychic development or spiritual development meetup groups that I try to keep very affordable, so that people have help, so that you can learn to let go of the stuff that is not true for yourself. A lot of times we come into this lifetime having had previous lives where we experienced perhaps trauma or some experience, that then we come into this life and we have a similar setup that then sort of triggers us into certain behaviors that then we later recognize that they're not healthy, and then we work to let go of them. Or we're in families where we're taught to believe or do things certain ways, and then as we grow, we recognize, wait, that's not how it's best for me to do things. So, you come home to yourself. You come home to taking care of yourself for yourself, instead of trying to be like everyone else or meet expectations. You meet your heart and soul. You recognize that you're more than a physical body, that you're an eternal soul here to have an experience. So ask yourself, what is it that you want to experience? What is it that you came here to do and birth into this world? I'm going to pull a few cards. I am many things, but on that list, I'm a psychic channel for information to come through. I'm a trance medium. I had to let go of my fear of God. Really, I had to overcome feeling like God was this genie that if I didn't word things exactly right, it would bite me in the butt. I had to recognize that I came into this life, like my earliest memories, I loved Casper the Friendly Ghost. I loved the Count on Sesame Street. I hatched pretty darn goth. And then one night I snuck out of, I was sleeping in my mom's bed because my dad was out of town. She was not in bed yet. And I turned on the TV. I don't remember which one it is, Poltergeist, perhaps. But this little girl puts her hands on the TV and all hell breaks loose, and it was scary. And like other movies, other people's representation of the spirit world scared me and shut me down so hard that I was like, nope. I would seriously, up until 2020, I wouldn't even let people talk about ghosts. It would freak me out to the point of I would have to shut down, check out, goodbye. Then my dad was crossing over, and I helped him transition in this way. I knew he was going to become one of my guides, and that's still after he crossed over, I got the lovely information that he could be infinite places at once. And I still would wake up at the morning terrified that I was going to see the girls in the tent in Sixth Sense. And Spirit had to look, we're here to build a relationship with you. We're not trying to make you pass out and pee yourself. Relax. So I slowly but surely relaxed. I started practicing divination when I was 15. I never thought about what I was connecting to. It was my lifeline in a family full of addiction and mental illness that kept me going and from losing my mind. I remember, one of the first ways Spirit led me was to start reading books on mental illness and mental disorders. And I knew more about the mental disorders my family were just later diagnosed with than they did. So it was whoa, well, that was useful. But still, it took me a long time to really fully recognize what was going on, to stop dismissing it, and then to come out of my spiritual hiding closet, and tell the people that I loved who and what I was. Because my parents freaked out when I was 15 and started practicing tarot and reading runes. I remember being really little, and I had a family member in the hospital, and everyone had lied to me about why they were in the hospital. And I told my grandma I knew why they were in the hospital. And she's like, well, who told you? I was like, no one told me. Claircognizance. I had a download. I am clairaudient, so I have inner guidance that comes through clear hearing. So I'm also clairsentient, clear feeling. Again, I'm a lot of things. We're usually a lot of things. We're usually not a one-note individual. So, it's just my grandma looked at me and she was just like, you know more than you should for someone your age. And while she still loved me and that didn't change, I could tell I made her uncomfortable. So, a lot of us, when we're little, will have past life recollection, will see perhaps elementals or angels or spirits or what have you, but then people around us convince us that we're crazy or they're not comfortable with it, so we put it down. I channel, so I am going way off topic, but this is what they want me to talk about. It wasn't until I really looked at my astrology chart that I saw it in writing on paper that I really began to accept my gifts and not feel like I had imposter syndrome or it was ego. Historically, we started off as people who were very spiritual, who connected with nature. And then, there were people who might be there to be guides that have perhaps a little bit heightened perception. But, it was understanding that we were all part of the spirit world, that it was interconnected. Then we evolved to where a lot of cultures, they shifted to where you had to go to someone special in order to get this information or have this connection. And that's where I'm like, nope, let's come full back around. So full circle. We're divinely made. You have therefore the right to connect to this universal healing energy and consciousness to support yourself. I'm here to explain this is natural, it's innate. No one has to certify you and grant you this. They might help teach you how to work with it and do it best for yourself. But again, when I learned Reiki, I'm a bit of a type A, recovering perfectionist and overachiever. Because a lot of us, when we don't receive the love that we were needing as children, we become like seeking the love and recognition, respect, what have you. You have to let that stuff go. Come here, Matilda. Come on. Matilda is in the house. Anyway, so, it's a long journey of getting to know what your life lessons are and what your spiritual gifts are. But it's important work to then, fully come into yourself, being authentic and expressing it. I was terrified. Along my journey, I've had a few spontaneous past life recalls, which they were pretty traumatic. And I had to recognize that, yes, in previous lifetimes, it might not have gone so well for me showing up with my gifts and trying to help. But in this life, they were showing me that I was not going to be persecuted, that I didn't need to be so fearful, that it was safe. And it luckily has been a lovely journey of meeting with people in many different walks of life and them accepting me and loving me for showing up as my true self. So that's where I'm here to help you all do this, to find your soul tribe, to find your community that supports and loves you for you. We're meant to move in this Aquarian age to things being reciprocal, loving reciprocal exchange, where we want each other to thrive and flourish. It's going to take a minute, but we have been evolving since the dawn of time. There are little things that I see that really give me hope. The fact that the psychology world, which I've gotten to meet with, is starting to accept psychic gifts as being real. There's scientific journals that go into the fact that schizophrenia sometimes can be a gateway to shamanism. We don't have the teachers and the guides as prevalent as we used to help individuals as they start presenting these gifts, but we're starting to. Look how popular Reiki and shamanism and meditation, somatic healing, tarot, it's all become more acceptable. Like, astrology isn't being scoffed at the way it used to be when I was little. I came into this life loving these things and having people act like I was out of my gourd. But, it's all interconnected. In the Bible, they talk about how God uses the cosmos to orchestrate the way they want things to shift. So it's just, we have been being aided by the cosmos to shift and evolve and grow our consciousness. And it's beautiful. So anyway, let's go to the cards, and then I'll ramble on with the help of the cards. That is something as a channel, like I had to recognize, like, just get out of your head. It's streaming of consciousness. It is being led to share things with you that are emotional for me, but again, it's good for me to release and share, so that then those of you that resonate with certain things, I found in my career so far, been doing this with gusto since 2020, because, you know, in that time I really felt like I needed to step forward and help those who were suffering. And I lost my train of thought with that one. I just had to get out of my own way. You know, like there are times where, like, I meet with people and my ego is like, whoo, I don't want to say that, but it's their message and I have to say it. And then when people come to me, I've learned to recognize, one, we share a resonance factor. We share a similar storyline, and that's why we can empathetically meet and I can help them. You know, Chiron in astrology is the wounded healer, and it's when you confront your wounds and heal them for yourself, then you can become a teacher and help others heal those parts of themselves as well. And I also recognize the counter side to that is that there's always a bit of the message that I need to chew on for myself. Because again, we're continuously healing, growing, evolving, developing, and that's lovely. All right, so just to touch astrologically, if you watch this as I'm doing it live, you know, we have many, many planets all in Mars right now. We just left the sun being in Aries, and now we're moving into Taurus. But Aries is the initiation point of astrology. It's the beginning. It's the astrological new year. It's the I am energy, and it's really pushing us to back to ourselves. You know, again, not here to go through the motions to meet everyone else's expectations. You're the hero or heroine, main character of your journey. You have to therefore prioritize yourself and take care of yourself. and then let yourself shine. So from tarot, we have the world. You know, again, this is an initiation point where we are releasing a lot of the past. You know, 2025, the year of the snake, was about really doing more self-reflection, you know, because we've been doing a lot of this work from at least 2020, if not, for those of you who are older, longer. So it's releasing the past, releasing what no longer serves you, what isn't in alignment, those false narratives, those false beliefs, shedding old skins, and then being able to go into a new chapter and you know, release, so that then you can be reborn like a phoenix rising from the ashes, burning away the false identities, bad behaviors, what have you. So this is a beautiful energy. You know, it is tense. It can be fiery. I mean, Taurus is a more grounded energy, but it can still be very stubborn, like Aries. It's very passionate. You know, Aries and Taurus energy, they have horns. They will butt heads. But it is having the courage to stay centered in that heart. You see how that individual is in a heart holding a caduceus, that medical symbol of the serpents intertwining, and the roses. That is saying, you know, this is a time for us to come back to ourselves. It's a new beginning. It's, you know, calling us to really acknowledge that we are, the rose in this is just depicting alchemical marriage, which is the integration of your divine feminine and your divine masculine side. Again, coming back to this, your right and your left hemispheres of your brain and the right and left sides of your body. The left side is typically thought of as the divine feminine. The right is the divine masculine. Divine feminine is receptive, intuitive, nurturing, emotional more so, whereas, well, they both have their own emotion, but whereas divine masculine is about action, it's about protection, it's about going after what you want, so more physical. So, you know, I'm gonna go close for Instagram, and then again, that's what the caduceus, the two snakes intertwining. Love it, love it, love it, love it. And then you also, I'm trying to get out of the glare. You also have the elements depicted, so it's like coming into balance. If you look at your chart, you can see how the elements balance out in your chart. So some of you will have a good balance of all the elements. Others of you might be either not having any of one element or very little of one element. So that means you have to work to bring that back in to balance yourself. So, you know, part of what's going on is we're having another spiritual renaissance, as they've called it to me, where we're coming back around to spirituality, being more popular. You know, again, we're seeing it in things like tarot, witchcraft, being less taboo. You know, there's still some fear, but at the same time, it's becoming more and more popularized and accepted by people around us, which for me, I feel like Goonies, where I'm like, it's my time down here. Finally, I can show up as my fairy unicorn dragon self and share the magic that I just love to talk about. So welcome to this era of getting your spiritual nature on. It's also a time where we are being more discerning about what we put in our bodies, on our bodies, what we connect with, what we engage with, which is beautiful. You know, that Aries energy, gotta love it, but it is a lot to handle. You know, some moments I feel like I have tons of energy, then other moments I'm like, whoo, I am wiped out and I need to rest. So listen to what your body is telling you. Your body holds ancient wisdom. It's a temple. It's there for you to take care of it and also to listen to the guidance. You know, they know our blood holds the memories of our ancestors. So that alone gives you some information. So it's just like the birds, listen to it. You know, it'll help you build that nest that you didn't know how to build consciously, but in your subconscious you had it. Just saying. Things in this energy, it's picking up the pace. Chariot is all about movement, but again, it's also speaking about maintaining the balance as you're proceeding. We're not static beings. We flow. We're meant to be in flow with what's going on and the energy at the moment. So stop being resistant and flow with what is. You can't force things into being. You can't micromanage the universe, but you can be a co-creatrix. You can flow with it. So, when you feel intuitively that you need to slow down, listen. Again, like, we have these spiritual gifts within us. Many of us have experienced having a red flag moment or knowing something, then we don't listen and it bites us in the butt. So this is saying, really step into acknowledging that these spiritual gifts are there to help you, and my understanding, your intuition, it's your crown chakra is how you connect to your higher consciousness, to source, God, to get these downloads of high vibrational, highest good information. Then, your third eye is how spirit, or whatever you call this, helps you navigate the material world. Your intuition is there helping you in your day-to-day life for the most part. And what your soul wants and how to get it. So listen, just saying. But also know, we're in the year of the horse now. So we are in this chapter where we've recognized what we want to let go of, what we want to change, and then we have to deal with doing it, which is its own challenge. And then it's going to pick up pace and momentum. So then we have to manage that. And, you might want to power through and get it all done at breakneck pace because you want it, but that's either going to not get you where you want to go or burn yourself out so that you can't enjoy getting there once you're there. So just keep in mind to keep things balanced. Like, I always think, with the Chariot card, I think of, I believe it's Ben-Hur, the movie with, there's a chariot race, and they explain that there's 4 horses, and one goes fast, one goes slow, and the other 2 do other things, and it's all meant to help you handle what comes. Like, if you're in a race, and this is where I'm channeling, so I don't really know what I'm talking about, but bear with me. So when you're on the straight part, you haul ass. Then when you're going around the curve, you slow down. So again, listen, there are times when you're going to have energy to really go after and take initiative on the things that you want. And then there's going to be times where you need to rest and recover. And then, hello, Cavalier Archon, that says hi to me. Then we have the 7 of Pentacles. This is about tending to your garden. In the Rider-Waite-Smith, you see an individual tending to a garden. And it's just or one of the, I forget, I can't access that file. But anyway, it's just like really, and you see in this card, these different coins. There's a moon, again, the caduceus. There's a sacred heart. There's a bird, a helmet, and an hourglass with a scythe. I've never fully took that all in. I don't know why, but every time I come to a reading, different things will present as what I need to focus on in the moment. So anyway, this is really coming back and reiterating, like, they're different parts of yourself. They're different things that you need to be tending to and bringing into the equation so that you can be fully in your power. The moon speaks to our emotions. Again, the caduceus with the two snakes, divine masculine and divine feminine balance. The Sacred Heart is like that connection to spirit. This is the Sacred Heart of Jesus, if you're looking at it in that way. Which is, and I don't mean to step on any belief systems, but it's basically the spirit is just pointing out, like, we're all a part of this divine energy. We're all sons and daughters of God, however you want to say this. I'm more pantheistic, so I don't have one religion that I hold to. I see beauty in lots of places, or wisdom in lots of places. So anyway, it's just tend to this connection to the divine. The bird, in Egyptian mythology, there is a symbol that is a bird that is your soul, and then there's another that is the oversoul, the Ka. So the Ba, the soul, and the Ka, the oversoul. That really, to me, is what feels the best, is that I'm being guided by spirit through my oversoul. That for me just feels safer. Because again, I had to let go of the fear of being out of control, of others controlling me. I don't know, lots of things. So for me, as a recovering control freak, connecting to myself is what felt good. I also really resonate, when you talk about your guides. There's one thing I once read was that some of your guides are past life versions of yourself here to guide you. That I love. I fully resonate with that. I know for myself that I also have guides that are not past life selves, but at the same time, I do believe in oneness, so it's very hard to put into words, and that's where, for me, I really just tune in to the fact that I feel connection to that oneness and a collective. That's what I find is more day to day the feeling, necessarily having an individual come through. Some people do have very much that individualistic connection to it that they communicate with, but for me, it's more so a sense of either I'll, in my meditation, come to a cave, I'll build a fire, and then I'll sit in that sacred circle with my collective. It's more that sort of feeling. But it's just saying, like, come together with these parts of yourself, bring them into holistic wellness. We're not meant to be compartmentalized where we only focus on work. We're meant to incorporate mind, body, and spirit into our lives for wellness. Whew, that was a long rant. At the moment, it's feeling like this. It feels like things are insurmountable. Things are tense. There's so much around the world going on right now that is alarming, that we want to put out those fires. We want to be impactful for how we can change what's going on. The wands in tarot are our passion. It's our spiritual side. It's, the world right now does feel like it's a bit on fire. And the answer is to turn to our spiritual sides so that we can manage and not succumb to fear or aggression. Oh, and so going backwards, I didn't say the coins in tarot are the material world, are working relationships. So the best way to accumulate the best way to be in our power, again, is to work with all these parts of ourselves that builds us up from the inside, and then therefore will manifest physical results externally once you do it on the inside. So that being said, heal yourself, heal your world. Work on healing your own insecurities, your own wounds and blockages, so that then you can be a healthy part of the world that raises the vibration of the world, and then we can therefore more healthfully engage with one another. Because individually, it feels like there's not much that one person can do. We don't know what to do. But again, focusing on being holistically well-balanced and showing up authentically as how you're designed, the way I kind of see it is we're all designed in certain ways. And when we all come together in a heart-centered way, we help the world go round. So then this is saying, come back to spirit, come back to your spiritual nature, let go of undue fear, so that then you can be the authority of yourself. The Hierophant can speak of education, going to someone to help guide you and teach you. It can speak of religion, marriage. But really, the way I see this, again, you see the moon and the sun, so divine, feminine, and masculine. They're sitting on their throne. They're wearing red, which is depicting that they're grounded. They're holding the spiritual text. They have a crown on. I mean, you even have the statue of the divine, feminine, and masculine, and they're seated on that throne. So they're in their power. They are the authority of themselves. They know that they're being divinely guided. And then they can use this to walk through the world. I love it. Anyway, so yes, right now we're in a time that is challenging to be here for a lot of us, most of us, I don't know. And we don't know what to do about it. We want to help be a part of the change for the betterment of not only ourselves, but those who live here with us. So heal yourself. Get over those insecurities. Release those undue fears. Show up for yourself as yourself, and work with your gifts and your talents. Don't diminish your shine. If you're in relationships where other people don't want you to shine fully, maybe step away or limit how much you engage with that person for a while. I don't know. I'm not saying you have to cut it off, but or cut them off, but just be aware and have those boundaries. All right, so then I'm going to wrap it up. From the elemental world, we have Sandalwood that is speaking of awareness. Trigger statement: I never get what I want. A little bit of that energy, right? True statement: I am a powerful creator. Listen to your inner voice. Release your ideas of the outcome you wish to see, and trust that you are aligned with the universe, which I've been doing this since I was 15. I'm 48 now, so it's a pretty long while. And I pull from different decks. I've learned to just channel. I asked what we should call this video to my guides. I was saying, let's call this, I forget exactly, I think it was release and come into alignment meditation. So the fact that we have the word aligned as our final statement, I'm like, I love it. And it's beautiful. So perhaps if you like it, use sandalwood to help yourself be more at peace. Essential oils are very much a part of my world, as well as herbalism. And these natural elements really are there to help us, like, again, this card talking about how you can best be in your power. You see all these plants around. It's like, work with the environment, work with the elements at hand. In the Magician card, that is the thing. You're working with elements at hand. You're working with spirit to manifest what you want, to heal, to be in your abundance and your prosperity. So let's all heal and come into our heart center and help this world be a better place. Let's help be the change. I hope you enjoyed this. I am here if you wish to work with me as individuals. I also do events around Richmond and trying to get myself out and about further afield. So if you'd like to work with me, I will put that information in the comments or in the description or what have you below. Be well holistically for yourself and the environment you're a beautiful part of. And for those of you who came that I know, thank you. And for those of you who I don't already know, thank you for connecting. And I'm really excited to be here with you right now. Go team, go. See you next time.